Welcome aboard Free Dive with C Digital, your go-to podcast for deep dives into the world of digital marketing. I'm Christy.
And I'm Anna Lynn.
Your hosts navigating through the currents of growth, strategy, and innovation in the digital realm.
We're going to talk. We're going to laugh. It's going to be a good time.
Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of the Free Dive podcast. I'm your host, Christy Billingsley. Today I have with me Alisa Meredith. Welcome, Alisa.
Hey, thanks, Christy. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. I've known Alisa for quite some time, and I was really excited to invite her on and share her story with us. So let's just dive right into it.
Okay.
Do you want to just give us a bit of background into your story and your history? You've done quite a few things in the marketing field. Why don't you give us background in how you got started and what your story is?
Sure. I got started way back in 1999. I was working at a refurbished telephone manufacturing place in Portland, Maine. So they needed somebody to do a newsletter, and then they needed someone to write content for the website, and eventually they needed a website developer. So I took on those roles, and then I went into business for myself. So running a social media and content agency, which then morphed into a HubSpot agency. And then I kind of started focusing more on Pinterest and Pinterest advertising. So I've had some really fun opportunities there.
Yeah.
And then I worked at Tailwind, a small startup. And now I am at Semrush in product marketing. So yes, I have done a lot of different marketing jobs.
Yeah. I want to pick your brain for a second because
Sure.
I'm so interested in the Pinterest marketing that you did, because Tina Gammon talked to us about your brilliant knowledge and working with you on Pinterest, and just how much she just loved you with working with Pinterest. Like, how did you get started in that?
Oh, goodness. I was just curious when Pinterest came out. I thought, is there going to be a marketing use case here? And that was before they had business profiles or anything. It was brand new. So I started thinking about it, and then I wrote about it. So I created a downloadable ebook just to kind of put my thoughts out there, and it got a little bit of attention. And somebody, actually, the client that Tina worked on, came through in an email, and he said, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? And then he finally said, can you just do it for me? So I thought, wow, okay, I guess that there's something here. And just enjoying it. It's always wonderful marketing when you can see the real results of what you're doing. So rewarding. And that definitely was the case there. So then I was hooked. And then Social Media Examiner needed someone to teach like a last minute online session about Pinterest ads. And they asked me. I'd never done any Pinterest advertising. So I just go learn all about it and then teach a class. And that's how that got started.
I totally forgot all about Social Media Examiner. I used to use them all the time.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about
them.
They're
still around. Yeah.
So when it comes to HubSpot, so we're a HubSpot agency.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get started working in HubSpot? Are you still connected to HubSpot today? What was the connection there?
Oh, yes. So as I was trying to learn about content marketing, so I did content marketing actually in my first marketing job, not realizing what it was. So I took really complex and horribly boring telephone manuals and rewrote them.
Yeah.
So that people could actually use them. And I just put them online. And so I didn't have any, at that time, no strategy behind it. I just thought, but this is ridiculous. Who is going to understand this? Who is ever going to want to use this? And people appreciated it. So I was kind of hooked on content marketing at the time, but I didn't really know what to do with it. And then I became involved in this agency called Scalable Social Media. And I was initially just doing social media at first. But then I realized, like, for one thing, it's so hard to get these business owners to talk to us so we have something interesting to post, but also
Mm.
you can't just do social media, which I know it sounds so basic to you and me right now, but this was like 2009 when everybody saw every Facebook page's updates in their feed. It was a totally different world, but I still knew like this is not enough. You have to have something behind this. So I got into every HubSpot course that was available and just read and read. And eventually, I had a client that I thought would be a good candidate for HubSpot. So I brought them on as an agency. We were probably the smallest HubSpot agency in history.
Well, it sounds like it was useful to you to use the tools that they had.
Oh, absolutely. And I had, I, I think of her as my advisor, Jill. We're still in touch a little bit. She was a fantastic business coach, right? Like that wasn't really part of the deal, but that's what I got from HubSpot was a fantastic coach. She helped me get that one client on, and she was just fantastic. So I have very good feelings about HubSpot in general and Jill especially.
Yeah. So, in your years of marketing, were there any particular, challenges that you have faced working in the marketing industry?
Yes, I think partially it's the change. The pace of change in marketing is
Yeah.
relentless, but I think it makes life interesting. So yes, it's a challenge, but I like challenge. So that's good. And then there's always something you don't really know how to do or you haven't tried yet. And so I've just tried to always say yes. So when someone asked me one time, many years ago, can you build this website on WordPress for me? I said, sure. I mean, I knew I could do it, but I hadn't done it. So just having the confidence to say yes and try things has been really helpful.
Do you feel like you really grew through that process, or found new avenues of things that you loved because you were willing to say yes to things?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was that was one example. The other example was the Pinterest ads, right? Oh, we had a speaker drop out. Can you fill in last minute and teach Pinterest ads? I'd never run one. Sure, I can. And that became, I have to say, website design was not anything I ever really liked. But Pinterest advertising was fantastic, especially at first, because um, in the platform, you didn't pay for a click on a pin. You paid for a click on the pin to a website, which really kind of helps bring up the quality of the leads you get from Pinterest. So, yeah, I was hooked on that.
Yeah. So, what through that, was there any particular project besides Pinterest, just through your career that you were particularly proud of or excited about?
Yeah. So when I was at Tailwind, we were launching a product for Pinterest. I mean, not for the company Pinterest, but to be used on Pinterest. So there was a lot of need there for customer research and learning, speaking in the voice of the customer. Um, there was also a need to set up a whole production unit for design that would work with the engineers in the back end. So I got to do that, and it was just a great opportunity to see, my work out there and being used. That was fun.
So, one of the things that we've talked about, you know, we've made a goal to interview women in marketing this last year, and highlighting wonderful women in marketing, but we've also highlighted the particular challenges that women face in marketing, but also the successes of women have in marketing. Do you have any advice to give to young women aspiring to have a career in marketing?
Mhm. I mean, I think the biggest one is what I already said. Just say yes. Even if you're not confident
Mm,
that you can do something, go for it and just
yeah.
try it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? And it is difficult. I mean, it's no secret that there are biases against women in all areas of work life, but um, we just have to learn to be better at promoting ourselves as well. One thing I was really bad at originally was not keeping track of my wins.
Yeah.
Right? So if you go job hunting or you're going to update your resume and someone says, okay, what are the numbers we can put on here? You better have numbers, right? So I increased leads or I did this or like you've got to have actual numbers to back it up. So I wasn't good at that, but I
Yep.
am now. So keep a document, just a running document of your wins. I also think it's good to keep a document of accolades, I guess you could say. Like if someone says something wonderful about your work that really makes you feel good, take a screenshot of it, put it in your document, and look at it from time to time because it's easy to get down on ourselves or think about our mistakes or feel like, is anything I'm doing working? That's just a good reminder that yes, you are making an
Yeah.
impact.
Oh, I totally agree. That's great advice. In fact, we've talked about that in a previous episode that it's a little bit of a joke around here because I keep screenshots in my phone and um of any time something goes well or someone says something nice about my work, and I've almost gotten a little bit too like too generous with it. So now there's just like tons and tons of like screenshots in my phone of like things that are like
Oh, that's
that was
great.
barely even a win for me. But, to
No,
your
take it.
point,
Take
it's
the
like
win,
that
Christy.
really helps. Yeah, it really helps in those moments when you're kind of doubting yourself and like, am I actually good at my job? Can I actually do this? You know, to be able to have that tangible evidence of like, no, I'm doing this, I'm doing good. I think that's great advice. So,
I'd love to see your portfolio.
yeah, I'll just have to share
Praise.
some with you. So looking back at your career, things that you've done, things that you want to do in the future, like how are you've seen a long history of marketing. Um how do you envision the future of marketing, and where would you like to picture yourself in that future?
Goodness, the future is tomorrow. I mean, it's I wouldn't even know how to predict what it will be. Um, I am thrilled with AI for the most part. I'm really loving ChatGPT and Claude and all those LLMs where you can get to ChatGPT or whatever model you like best to do a little bit of the grunt work
Mm,
for you to help you to brainstorm. So I think I've seen my productivity increase greatly using those tools, and I think it will just continue. Just doing the work that frees up our brains for the creative part that really only humans can do at this point, anyway. I'd like to think there'll always be a need for us in marketing.
and do you have any plans for yourself? Do you have any goals for yourself? Anything like that?
Well, I'm in a little bit of a new-ish position at this point in product marketing, which is very different from content marketing or from running a marketing agency or some of the other things I've done. And for now, I really enjoy that. It's a very independent role, but you get to be kind of the bridge between marketing and product and sales and customer support. So I really like trying to pull all those pieces together. And I think I just want to enjoy that and build my skills in that area for a while. It took me a while to get here, so I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're not working so much with content marketing anymore, but do you still enjoy working with social media, for just even just whether it's for companies or for yourself?
No, no, I don't. I don't do anything with content anymore, and with social media. No, I mean every once in a while I'll post on LinkedIn or I'll post something I painted or I went to the beach on Instagram, but no, I'm it's shifted a lot to where I'm really happy kind of being behind the scenes. I'm
Mhm.
enjoying that very much, and I never was big on doing social media for myself anyway. So, uh, yeah, I just like being the voice of the customer in the background.
Mhm. You've left Pinterest behind.
Well, I still need recipes just like everybody else. But as far as marketing, yes, I haven't done any client work in about a year and a half. So
Yeah.
No, I'm just enjoying it for fun.
Well, that's great. Well, anything else that you want to share with us? Any advice, any tips for those in the marketing field?
You've probably covered this quite a bit, but I would say with AI, I think initially most of us were a little afraid. We're hoping it wouldn't catch on. Um, but really, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity there to increase your own productivity, so build your skills even. So I would say when something like that comes along, there are going to be people who lose out. Like I've seen quite a loss in the content marketing um, job market, right? So companies thought, oh, I can use ChatGPT to write all my content for me. But if you are in that position, like how can you use this technology for your benefit instead? So there are always people who are going to make out well with advancements like this, and it partially is up to you if that's going to be you or not. So just be curious. Like I think marketers really are a curious bunch. We want to try things out and learn more. I would just say when you stop learning, maybe it's time to start doing something else because you really have to keep enjoying and being good at marketing.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with that. You really have to be willing to keep up with the growth and the new things that are coming, and AI in particular. We've had so many conversations with almost every guest we've had. Have we talked about AI and the need to learn it and accept it? So that's great advice. Totally agree.
Yeah, accept it and learn to love it because it's here to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate all your insights and getting a bit of your background and your story. How do we find you? Should we find you? You're not on social media as much anymore, but do you have any plugs that you want to share with us?
I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn, Alisa Meredith. Happy to connect. Yeah, I think that'd be the best place.
Great. We'll leave it at that then. Awesome. Well, we thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Christy.
We'll see everybody next time. It's the end.
No, it's not. There's more.
There's always more.
Don't be sad. You can catch our full video interviews on our YouTube channel. Come find us.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends so that we're not sad.
And follow us on TikTok.
And Instagram.
It'll make your day happier, promise.
And we'll know if you do. Until next time.